Hey everyone, Erick Stakelbeck here. Today on the newscast, how does the oldest toilet in Jerusalem prove the truth of the Bible? Find out coming up. Hey folks, Erick Stakelbeck here. Welcome to the Watchman Newscast. We've got a great one for you today. One of my favorite topics, biblical archaeology and history. And coming from my favorite place in all of Jerusalem, the city of David. Before I get into it, I just want to thank you for joining us here on the newscast. We are praying that everyone is hanging in there as we continue to shelter in place during this global pandemic. We are with you, and I'm praying Psalm 91 over all of our viewers, God's hand of protection and blessing over you and your families during this very difficult time. Hey, you may have some extra time at home right now, obviously. We'd love for you to check us out here on the Watchman Newscast and subscribe and tell your friends, your family members, your coworkers, your neighbors. We're bringing you the kind of cutting-edge stories that you just won't hear anywhere else, certainly not in the mainstream media. Also, be sure to click that notification button so you get alerts every time new videos are posted, either our newscast on Tuesday and Thursday, or from the Watchman television show every week on TBN and the Fox Business Network. By the way, be sure to stay tuned till the end of this newscast for a very special discount. We are partnering, the Watchman Newscast here at YouTube, we are partnering with Ahava, the leading Dead Sea skincare product in the world, for a very special 25% discount just in time for Mother's Day. Get all the details coming up after my interview with the one and only Zev Orenstein, the International Director for the City of David, Ancient Jerusalem. Zev joined us from his home in Ma'ale Adumim, a few miles outside of Jerusalem, to share a fascinating story about how the discovery of the oldest toilet in Jerusalem, an ancient toilet dating back some 2,600 years, proves the truth of the Bible. Take a look. Well, Zev, thanks so much for joining us once again from your home in Ma'ale Adumim. We are still sheltering in place, but you still have some incredible archaeological finds at the city of David to tell us about. And what we're talking about today dates back to the first temple period. Tell us what you have.
It dates back to the very end of the first temple period. In fact, it dates back to the very last chapter of the Book of Kings, when it's not actually a very happy ending. It goes back to the period of the destruction of Jerusalem by the Babylonians. And, you know, it's a funny thing, because I like to say, when you're in the place where the Bible happened, the words of the Bible come to life. And I don't believe you will find a place more than the city of David where those words ring true, where you just walk throughout the city of David and you can find the archaeological proofs that affirm the existence of so many figures from the Bible, so many events from the Bible. And today's segment is no different. It's just a little bit, let's call it, unorthodox. And what I mean by that is, a number of years ago, archaeologists discover an ancient toilet. It's one of the only toilets, an ancient toilet that's been found in the country, one of the very few. It's one of the oldest toilets in the world. It goes back some 2,500 years to the period of the very end of First Temple period Jerusalem, to the rule of King Zedekiah, the last king of the Davidic dynasty. Now, okay, you could say the story ends there. It's a toilet. You can make all sorts of toilet jokes and great. But, however, Jerusalem is different. The city of David is different. When you find an ancient toilet in the city of David, it's not just a toilet. Now, archaeologists and scientists, they're funny people. And so some scientists a number of years ago said, we're curious. What was the diet of the last people to use this toilet? Now, this toilet, as you can see, it was on the slopes just beneath where it is believed to be the location of King David's palace. So it's clear that this was an important area, the royal Capitol Hill of Jerusalem 2,500 years ago.
Yeah, that was a golden toilet, I'm sure, Zev.
Right. You know, so someone's eating with a silver spoon, and then they had the toilet. Now, we have an ancient teaching in our faith that who is rich? One who has a toilet next to his table. Now, you might say, really? Like, what does that have to do with anything? Why is it a big deal? Today, we take for granted that I imagine everyone who is watching this, and certainly watching it on TV or online, we all have internet, which means we have computers and TVs and indoor plumbing. But throughout much of the ancient world, that was a luxury. Many people, when they had to do their thing, went out into the field somewhere and did their thing. If you actually had your own toilet, that meant you were somebody. And it's clear that this toilet belonged to a somebody. Now, the scientists, they dig up the earth beneath the toilet, they scoop into the opening there, and they come back and say, whoever were the last people to use this toilet, they were suffering from tapeworm. They were eating raw meat and weeds. And the question is, why would somebody eat raw meat and weeds? Right?
Especially royalty.
Seriously, right? So if you look at the very beginning of 2 Kings chapter 25, the first 3 verses of the chapter, it talks about the Babylonian siege on Jerusalem. And it literally talks about the devastating impact that the siege is having on the people of Jerusalem. They are starving to death. And so you could imagine, why is someone eating raw meat? There's no more wood to make fire, but you're starving to death. And so you'll eat whatever you can. And so they just ate raw animals.
Yeah, the forces of King Nebuchadnezzar, Zev, closing in. Right. A brutal siege, the Bible tells us. Terrible what they did in Jerusalem.
Yeah, and so an 18-month siege, and by the end of it, people are eating raw meat to the extent that people even had animals left to eat, and eating whatever's growing in the ground, grass, weeds, whatever. And so this toilet is a testament to the biblical description of the Babylonian siege on Jerusalem, that in Jerusalem, in the city of David, the place where Jerusalem began, the historic site of biblical Jerusalem, even a toilet affirms the truth of the Bible, not simply as a matter of faith, but as a matter of fact.
Zev, incredible, my friend. And when you combine the truth of the Bible with irrefutable archaeological and scientific evidence, I believe you have an unbeatable combination. You showed us again today, once again, how the city of David is doing that on a regular basis. Who would have thought that a toilet would be such a significant and telling archaeological find? And I know you have much more coming to us.
And especially now in Corona, it just tells us, reminds us even more the importance of personal hygiene, right? You don't want to get those bacteria and tapeworms. We didn't want it 2,500 years ago. We don't want the bacteria today. So everyone should just eat right and have proper hygiene and get through all this stuff.
That's right. And hey, the real moral of the story, I guess you would say, is guess what? The Babylonians destroyed the first temple. They burned Jerusalem. It was a horrible period, but the Jewish people are still here. They're still standing, and the state of Israel is back, never to be uprooted again.
That's right.
That's right. Zev Ornstein, thank you so much, my friend. We look forward to seeing you at the City of David in person, hopefully very soon. Maybe I'll even use the toilet. Who knows?
God willing.
God bless, my friend. Take care, Zev. Thank you.
Amazing. Folks, that story from Zev is not only a faith builder, but it put a smile on my face, and I think we could all use that right about now. Zev and the entire team at the City of David are doing incredible work, and when, not if, this coronavirus crisis passes, I encourage you, if you've never been to Israel, set your feet on that sacred ground. It will change your life. If you have been to Israel, like I have many times, return, because Israel needs you right now, and we need to fulfill that biblical mandate as followers of Jesus to bless Israel and the Jewish people during this time when many Israeli businesses are profoundly impacted by this COVID-19 pandemic. Speaking of which, I mentioned at the top of this newscast, and I mentioned for the first time on Tuesday's newscast, that our team here at The Watchman on YouTube, here at the Watchman News Channel, we are partnering with Ahava, the world's leader in Dead Sea skincare products, to bring you a special 25% discount just in time for Mother's Day. Folks, it's right around the corner, May 10th. Well, Ahava, and think about those legendary healing minerals coming from the Dead Sea. They replenish and reinvigorate your skin. Amazing. I know the ladies in my life, my wife and my daughters love them. So, just in time for Mother's Day, you can get your hands on these incredible Dead Sea skincare products. 25% discount. Great offer here. You see the link there on your screen. Just use that link, write it, type it in, copy and paste, whatever. Use that link and you will get a 25% discount on Ahava products. And folks, the best thing about this is it goes to a worthy cause. Not only does it support the Israeli economy and Israeli businesses during this very difficult time, but a portion of the proceeds from all sales with this Watchman discount will go to Israeli charities that are helping needy families affected by the COVID-19 economic lockdown. So you got a twofer there. You're going to bless Israel, bless the Israeli economy, and help needy Israeli families. A pretty good deal in my view. Hey, one more piece of news. Our QAEDA, Christians United for Israel, Washington Summit. Every year, as you know, we've talked about it here on the newscast. We have the summit in D.C. at the Convention Center. Well, this year, due to COVID-19 restrictions, we are having the very first QAEDA virtual summit. That's right, online. We will still have from June 28th to the 30th our usual lineup of incredible speakers. The Israeli ambassador to the U.S., Ron Dermer, David Friedman, the U.S. ambassador to Israel, many more will be making appearances. Pastor John Hagee, QAEDA's founder and chairman, yours truly, the Watchman. We will all be a part of this virtual summit for free, June 28th to the 30th. Won't cost you anything. And you can join us online on Facebook Live, here on YouTube, and be a part of this incredible annual event. You know, it's our first virtual summit. We've never done this before, but we're actually very excited about it, folks, because we think online we can reach many more people than we would usually reach at the DC Summit. So this is exciting. It's something new for us, but we encourage you June 28th to the 30th to check out the QAEDA Virtual Summit. Until next week, or until the next breaking news update from the Watchman Newscast, our entire team, God bless you. Thanks for watching, and remember, never hold your peace.